Come and see about it. Yeah. Come and see about it. Let me see about it. I got the game with me. Come and see about it. Come and see about it. Come and see about me. Come and see about me. Come and see about it. Come and see about me. Come and see about it. Come and see about me. I got the game with me. Come and see about me. Yeah. Come and see about it.
Welcome into Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib, second episode of our spring football editions. And I've got Jay Wilkinson, the associate head coach and offensive coordinator here at Broken Arrow, joining me. And welcome back to Broken Arrow, first of all, Coach. My first question to you is just how excited are you to be here back in the black and gold?
Excited, third time, hopefully the charm.
Third time's the charm.
And, have had two kids graduate from here and have two more coming through. So it's going to be nice, hopefully, to get all four of my kids as Broken Arrow Tiger graduates.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about it being your third time here, your experience, you've been all over the place, and even a trip over to Arkansas for a few years, right? Plenty of trips over to Arkansas is what I should say.
Right.
But talk to me about that. Talk to me about your background, where you've been, and kind of some of the coaches that you pull from, that sort of thing.
No doubt. It might take a while. Very unconventional journey. But, so grew up in Stroud, Oklahoma, started my coaching career at Shawnee, spent 3 years there and landed a job at Jinx. Worked for Coach Trimble for 4 years over there.
Yeah.
Took a year off when my first son was born and kind of did some part-time help over at Union under Coach Blankenship in 2005, and then got my first head job at Metro Christian. Spent a couple years at Metro Christian and got the bug to try the college game. Spent 3 years at University of Central Oklahoma, and at the time our family was growing and decided kind of high school was going to best fit our family as we were growing. And so Coach Spav was here, and so 2011 made my first journey to Broken Arrow, and was here and spent 3 years here during that stint. Went to Coweta as the head coach, spent a year at Deer Creek, came back under Coach Alexander in 2017 and was here through 2020. And then whenever the changes happened here, we went to Fayetteville and spent 3 years at Fayetteville. Last year came back to Jinx, and then whenever this thing opened up and Coach Hill gave me the call, we made it our third trip back over to Broken Arrow.
Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't trying to jot all that down.
It's a lot. Been pretty hard. Been well rehearsed.
Well, welcome back. And in working with Coach Hill, that's something that's always got to be pretty exciting. He's a fiery guy. But you guys are the two offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator combo that won that state championship here at Broken Arrow in 2018. What's your working relationship like with him? How does everything flow between the two of you?
So it's interesting, like you said, we wwe here together, we were coordinators, and so we were kind of, side by side. Now, obviously, with him being the head coach, we obviously have a great relationship, but now just kind of the things that he wants, to see within the offense, within the practice, that kind of thing. And so, Coach Hill's got a big personality. So, there's never a dull moment. You might get started on practice schedule and 30 minutes later start talking about his favorite fishing holes in Oklahoma. You don't ever know. And so every day is something else. But no, it's been a lot of fun. And like I said, some of the staff's new. Some of them we've had relationships with in the past, and so it's going to be a good mixture and fun group, and it's like I said, it kind of makes coming to work every day a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about those staffs, the new guys here in just a little while, but yep. I want to go back even further with you. You mentioned growing up in Stroud. You were a state champion in track, right? Is that right?
Correct.
And your brother, of course, is the track coach here. So was there ever any thought of going that route?
Well, so my first job at Shawnee, I was actually the head track coach.
Okay.
And kind of gave my brother his first start as he was my pole vault coach there at Shawnee.
And he's a good pole vault coach.
Yes. And so then that kind of led him into the track world. But no, I think once I kind of got to the spot where I was coordinating and wanted to be a head coach, the kind of track thing kind of was on the back burner. But that's one of the things with the last name Wilkinson that's a must in my house. So you have to try track and you have to try pole vault at least. So we've got two pole vaulters, one coming. So it should be interesting.
Well, talk to me a little bit about being back at Broken Arrow and being here with your brother. I mean, being able to be at the same school district and be on the same high school grounds as him. I mean, that's pretty cool, I feel like.
Yes, and then, my brother Scott's wife, Heather's a first-grade teacher over at Country Lane. My kids all went through Country Lane. I've got 2 nephews and a niece that have come through here, and so it's kind of been a cool deal. Now, every now and then I get a call or an email from a secretary at a school or something, a kid's sick or something, I would just have to clarify now, do you have the right Wilkinson crew here? Because there's another group, and I'd let my brother handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're glad that you're back here at Broken Arrow. What's kind of been the transition period been like for you, getting back into the black and gold, getting into your office and getting settled in, and then kind of meeting all the new guys?
Just a lot of work. I mean, a lot of things have changed, obviously, within 4 years. A lot of new faces. The athletic department's kind of turned over.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Smith is new, so, developing that relationship with him. Amanda was here, Mrs. Snyder, when I was here last time as I was leaving, and then Mr. Lusk is new as well. So, just a lot of new faces, trying to get in and out of buildings, meet new principals, that type of thing, and then obviously getting to know the kids, because place like Broken Arrow, I mean, it's a lot of new faces when you start talking about 130 just in our high school program. And so getting to know those kids and trying to figure out what we're good at, what we're not good at, get a staff hired, again, get on the same page with Coach Hill about what he wants to see out of the offense, and then hopefully try to put up a successful product together come August.
Absolutely. I'll ask you one last question just about your coaching philosophy. What's kind of your MO when you're out there? What are you trying to teach the guys? What are you trying to do to elevate them not only as players but as people?
Well, and I think the first thing is, I think we're stressing right now our level of effort. If we can get our guys to play hard, continuous, snap after snap, that's kind of one of the things that we're looking for. And so that's going to be kind of an emphasis this spring, is playing hard, playing tough, playing smart, those types of things. And then ultimately, figuring out what our guys' strengths and weaknesses are. Can we develop those weaknesses over the course of the summer to become strengths? If not, we need to tailor our offense where we stay away from those and play to our players' strengths.
Absolutely. Well, one thing everybody's always going to want to know about is quarterbacks. So we're going to talk about that here in just a moment as Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib, rolls on.
Introducing QT Pay, the easiest way to transform every trip, every treat, and every gallon into instant savings every time you pay. All within the QT app. QT Pay. It just makes sense.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma, we're devoted to improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends and neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
Racing towards the end of the month? Ask about our early pay options. TTCU Federal Credit Union. Life is better in balance.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib, out here at Tiger Memorial Stadium with the new quarterbacks coach, Jalen Lowe. Excited for you to be here. I think you've got a great group of talent you can work with. Talk to me about some of those guys in the room and what you see in those quarterbacks you have.
So we got the returning starter coming back from next year, Jeremiah, and I'm only here a couple days a week, so I'm slowly getting to know him. But we got Jeremiah, we got Casey Delgado, Jackson, and a couple young guys too that are in the fold as well. So I'm excited to coach all those guys, man. They all got talent. Just teach them how to be a leader and working on the footwork right now and learning the playbook. So it's been a joy so far.
With working with those quarterbacks, talk to me about your philosophy. Like who do you pull from? Who are some guys that have influenced you? And then what's your goals for these guys in the room?
Yeah. So Coach Hudson, my coach in high school, he was big on footwork and being a leader, man. So I take that from him, and then also my college coach, Coach Mason, RIP, man. He passed away not too long ago, man. I learned so much from him, and I just take all his philosophies and his drills and things like that, and I just try to incorporate it in my own way to these guys out here. So.
And then what are those goals that you're trying to get them to reach?
Honestly, just being a quarterback on and off the field. You know what I mean? So many guys think quarterback's just a me position, but you got to be the leader of the team, man. It is your team, but you got to take the blame too when things don't go your way or the team's way. So just teaching those guys how to be leaders and things like that. So.
And you talked about with me just off camera a second ago, coming from Muskogee here with Coach Travis Hill.
Yes, sir.
What attracts you to this job other than just working for him, or is it just being on his staff?
I mean, I've known Coach Hill since I was a young kid, man. I was going to his speed camps when he was at East Central when I was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
So I've known of Coach Hill for forever, man. He's a legend. I mean, leading East Central to a state championship and also Muskogee, who could say no to that? So it's a big opportunity. And also, I'm an Owasso kid, but I know all about Broken Arrow, and I just want to make an impact over here. So looking forward to that.
Some of those BA fans that have been around a little while, they may remember your name.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of trouble, right?
That's fine, man. That's fine. I'm just here to help this team, man, bring BA to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're happy you're here. We'll go back to the desk with Coach Wilkinson. Welcome back to the desk. And Coach Wilkinson, I want to ask you about Jalen Lowe and adding him to your staff. He's a guy that I mentioned there in that interview that maybe some longtime Broken Arrow fans might remember his name because he definitely gave the Tigers some fits back in the day as a quarterback at Owasso and a basketball player at Owasso. But what does he add to you all as a coaching staff? Just
a young guy, I think, that's kind of an up-and-comer in the coaching profession. Like I said, it's kind of funny. That's how old I am now. Whenever I was here, my first stint, we actually coached against Coach Lowe. Yeah. And so, matter of fact, in quarterback meetings the other day, there was an old cut-up in there from the 2011 season, and Coach Lowe was kind of hanging his head, and I'm like, what's going on? He said, man, I'm out there on defense in this film. And we scored a touchdown. So, it's always good to have a mix of younger guys and older guys on staff. And, some of these younger guys, obviously are getting in the profession. They're studying kind of the new ways that quarterbacks are being trained and stuff like that. And so just gives us kind of a unique perspective of some of the stuff that's happening in the quarterback world these days, and excited to be able to work with him, have him around our guys. He seems like he's a pretty player-friendly coach. Guys kind of gravitate towards him. Wasn't that long ago that he was playing, and so his experiences to them will mean a lot more than my experiences back whenever there were no AstroTurf fields.
Well, you got a really talented quarterback room for him to work with, and so many different guys that I think could very well be the starter come the first game day. So talk to me about the guys you have in your room, what you see out of them, and what you've been able to kind of teach them in the early parts of this spring.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we have 7 in the room right now. Basically Jeremiah's back from last year, going to be a senior. Jackson Mallon moved in from Florida. You have Kaysen Delgado, who's going to be a junior that moved in. Preston Carter's a returning guy. Jack Gardner's a returning guy. Yeah. You've got Peyton Lang, who I know we'll talk about here in a little bit. That's a move-in guy. And then you have Crowley, my guy, that's going to be a sophomore that, he just comes in with a smile on his face. And so, they're all good teammates. Right now, we just kind of, when we start, we assume that basically they don't know anything, even though a lot of them have played a lot of varsity football. Yeah. And that way we can kind of teach them our verbiage, how we call things, how we look at the defense. And so, they've been a fun group to be around. Like I said, we haven't really turned up the heat on them. We're just trying to get everybody to kind of know kind of how we're doing things right now. I told them, the big thing will come, you got to learn what to do right now, but then why we do it is the kind of the key. And so, we're just trying to get those guys in a position where they can go compete for the job come May. And, we talked with Coach Hill, and, we would like to have a starter coming out of spring ball, but it might bleed into summer. We do so much summer activities with 7-on-7 and camps and stuff like that, we're going to make sure that we give everybody the right opportunity and try to make this thing as competitive as we can. And when we feel like we have the right guy, then we know we have the right guy.
Absolutely. Well, you brought up Peyton Lang, and Coach Mo, the color commentator for us here on ArrowVision, was able to catch up with Peyton Lang for a pretty good conversation.
Thank you, Dylan. We're in the beautiful campus of Broken Arrow in the indoor facility. I'm Maurice Wallace here for ArrowVision, here with Peyton Lang, quarterback, receiver, DB, athlete. Describe, coming down to the end of spring drills, describe what this team needs to accomplish going into spring practice.
Probably, I would say, don't be selfish, stick as a team, every single play, every single down, every single drill, every little bit, and sticking to details. With this weight room, weight room is perfect for building this character and building our strength, obviously. But but I'll say no selfishness, staying as a team, and caring about one another.
Is that one of the pillars that Coach Hill and his staff always talk about, is being selfless, a different type of mindset that we have to have going into this 25 season? Is that something that you guys have, endured throughout so far in this offseason? Is that something that they're trying to instill in you guys going into spring ball?
Yes, he's big on that. I see the steps we're taking right now from, me first coming up here, like, I mean, I obviously didn't know anybody, but I can just tell that we wasn't where we are right now. Right now, you know, everybody's like getting along, you know, it's coming together, and I'm loving it.
Good. You're a very smart kid. I mean, we've talked in the past about your grade point average and everything. Let the Broken Arrow community know what Coach Hill means whenever it starts in the classroom. Describe what he means when it starts in the classroom about this team being successful, not only in the classroom, which will lead to be success on the field.
I mean, obviously, when you're trying to get recruited as a prospect for like future references, if you want to go play D1 level, D2 level, D3, you know, all those programs, they care about your GPA. And I mean, he was a former college coach, so I mean, you could learn a lot from him, a grade level average.
Yeah, he knows what it's about to take care of business in the classroom. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the coaching staff. You know, Coach Hill comes in, they hire Coach Hill. This district has done a great job of trying to surround him with the best coaches possible that he wants to come in and be successful with this program. So I'm going to name 3 coaches and try to describe them in one word. Coach Craver.
First word that comes to mind is like tough.
Tough.
The way he coaches, you know, he's a loud guy. He cares. He's very passionate about he's very passionate about his job.
Okay. Coach Wilkinson.
Coach Wilkinson. To the point.
To the point?
To the point.
Yeah, he seems like straight to the point. This is what we're going to do. This is about the details. I'm going right there.
Exactly.
Last but not least, the big dog himself, the big man, Coach Hill.
I mean, I already said the word, but I'll say the word that's sticking out is passionate.
Passionate.
He loves our players. He loves the kids. He treats them like they're his own kids.
Yeah.
Actually, but he loves his job. I can tell, big time.
And to me, it seems like he's a kid-driven, player-driven type of coach. I mean, he wants the kids and the players to be successful themselves because, I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the players.
Exactly.
So, well, Peyton, thank you very much for joining us, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I'm Maurice Wallace with ArrowVision. Now back to you, Dylan.
Thank you, Coach Mo. Jay, I want to ask you about Peyton Lang and what he brings to the table. Inside wide receiver, also in the quarterback room. There's a lot of different things you can do with him, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And first of all, like, you know, Peyton's a new guy, but like just already tell like what kind of character of a kid he is. Just a great kid, willing to do anything. So there's some days that, you know, he's in the inside receiver group. There's some days he's with the quarterback group. He also doubles up and plays some defense. And so, you know, he never asks why I'm doing this. It's just, hey, Coach, where do you want me today? We put him out there. He's yes sir, no sir kid, and just really excited about seeing his growth in the program.
And what does he bring to the table as a leader and as a guy in the locker room? He seems like he's a very positive attitude kind of guy.
Absolutely. You know, I think his experience at Muskogee, he was kind of the backup quarterback behind the Bird kid that went to Utah last year, who was a tremendous quarterback and a great leader. And so I think Peyton got to kind of learn what that looks like underneath him. And so, you know, it's just one of those deals where he's very encouraging with the guys. And so, you know, if he takes a rep at quarterback and there's a mistake or something like that, it's, you know, he's more into the, hey, going over to the side, coaching those guys up. Here's, you know, you went to 10 yards. We really like you at 12 on this break. And kids kind of gravitate towards that. You know, it's not like a guy that's really getting on to him. Now it's really a, you know, a partnership in this thing. And that's what I just see out of him. And just, you know, phenomenal work ethic, tremendous athlete. And like I said, never doesn't have a smile on his face.
Yeah. Always seems like a positive attitude. And that's one thing that's easy to like.
Yep.
Well, we got a lot more conversation going on. We're going to talk running backs and wide receivers when we come back on Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Shields is now open at the Woodland Hills Mall in Tulsa, and we can't thank you enough for the warm welcome. Whether you love the great outdoors, sports, or fashion, Shields has something for everyone. Our passionate and knowledgeable Shields experts are excited to welcome you to explore thousands of brands and premium products. From our golf simulator, service shop, archery lanes, and more, we're ready to get you fitted with the best gear for you. We can't wait to see you at Shields.
Introducing QT Pay, the easiest way to transform every trip and every gallon into instant savings every time you pay. QT Pay. It just makes sense.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib. I'm Madison, Dilldine, joined alongside new running backs coach Jeremy Smith. Jeremy, how are you doing today?
Blessed. Just happy for opportunity.
So let's go back a little bit. You played football at Union,
Yes.
and then you spent some time at Oklahoma State.
Most
Walk me through your football journey.
Honestly, crazy journey. When I was growing up, I mean, we didn't have much, and I was blessed. This guy, Harry Price, I'm going to say his name because, again, he was a blessing to me. Saw me outside running around with one of my best friends at the time, which was his son, and, asked me if I played football, and I'm like, no, I don't. I wish. He said, would you want to? And I said, yes. So he went to my mom, asked. My mom ended up saying no at first, and then, long story short, she ended up saying yes. Bought me all my equipment and everything, got me into football. Next thing I know, I'm the guy at Union, and the rest is history from there. Had an opportunity at Oklahoma State, had an opportunity with Tampa Bay, and now I'm into coaching, giving back. So,
what is your favorite part about coaching?
Honestly, just seeing the growth. And I want to tell people this as well. Like when I coach, and this is not a knock to any of the coaches, but I really do work for the kid. You know what I mean? So we've all done it. We've been there. We've had the accolades. We've had everything, but it's their future now. So let's make sure that, again, we're supposed to be doing for them, and really pushing them to get to where they need to be, because it's a process. I know you guys probably heard this before, but again, it's a marathon and not a race. So we try to make sure that they're sticking to the script.
You did briefly spend some time at Broken Arrow, so you're not a stranger to the black and gold, even though you did grow up playing for the other side there, but that's okay. We will not hold that against you. So what brought you back to Broken Arrow, and kind of what makes BA special?
Coach Hill was the first coach that I've ever got to watch. He coached my cousin Brian back in 2021. And of course, when he was at East Central, played with Levy, coached with Jay, coached with Prince, coached with Keenan Reed. So I'm familiar with a lot of these guys. And it was just an easy transition to come over with them, especially just because it's like a brotherhood with us. And we understand, again, the most important thing, again, is the kids. It's not anything else. It's what are they doing after this is said and done, and trying to take care of their mentals. And I think we're all on one accord when it comes to that.
What would you say is something that you try to instill in your players values-wise, both on and off the field?
Yeah. To make sure that they understand that somebody's depending on you. So everything that you're doing right now, it matters. I'm sorry to tell you that. So if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh man, whatever, I don't really want to. Remember that, again, 5 years from now, somebody's going to need you, and you cannot be that way. So we've got to continue to learn how to grow and how to grind and do what we're supposed to be doing. So, yes, ma'am.
Lastly, what are you most excited for or looking forward to this season?
Can I say it?
You can say it.
Winning a state championship. We're here, and we're here to stay. The ceiling is very high, and I think that with this staff and with the kids that we have, that we're going to do a lot of great things. And I think the biggest thing with us right now is that when you're looking at the kids and you're watching their work ethic, they want it. And when you can get that part, you can get anything that you want out of those kids. And I say kids, but young men. So I think for me, that's the most exciting thing. We got to get to the state championship, and we're going to do it. So I'm going to throw that out there.
Love that mentality. Thank you for your time, Coach.
No problem.
Thank you, Madison. And Coach Jay, the running back room, you got a lot of talent. Octavian Roberson obviously pops off the page. You guys got a really good group back there. What do you see in those guys, and what are you going to do with those guys as far as utilizing them in the offense and getting them involved?
No doubt. And again, it's one of those things where once we kind of figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are, what I've seen so far, a lot of strengths, not very many weaknesses. But, that's a position where, in the past, like we've tried to get those guys as many touches as possible, whether it be at the tailback position or maybe flexing them out into a wide receiver spot. And, even the possibility of maybe playing two of those guys or three of them at once. I know one thing Coach Smith likes to do is he likes to try to get all three of his guys on the field at one time. And so we'll always have some kind of package like that going into a game every week just to kind of utilize all three of those guys at one time.
Yeah. Coach Smith, a young guy who has a great resume as far as a player goes, and that definitely will draw the attention of any running back. And getting under his tutelage, that's something that I know those guys have really taken advantage of. What does he bring to the table? What does he add to the staff?
Just, tremendous guy, a lot of fun to be around, does a great job with his group, just holding them accountable, like in all facets, not only football, their academics, their home life, that type of stuff. Like when practice is over, the running backs are never done. He always has kind of a little meeting over on the bench, and they kind of talk about everything, football, school, life, and just tremendous coach, does a great job with his drill work. He's the one guy that you just don't ever have to worry about having something to do. I mean, if he's got 30 seconds or 30 minutes, he's got plenty of stuff to do with those guys. And I think they see the value in that. It's not like they're just doing meaningless drills. They're doing something that obviously a guy that's played at a high level has done and feels like it's important, and just excited to have him on staff.
Got a bug flying in front of me. One thing that I've noticed with him, though, is he's not like a get in your face and yell at you kind of guy. He's much more of a calm approach to it. And is that something that you kind of look at and say, I'm glad he does that, and that's a really good way of handling things?
Yeah, I think there's, you always, like I kind of said earlier, you want to have young guys and old guys on staff. Like you want to have some guys that are calm and some guys that are loud, and, everything kind of needs to balance itself out. And I think that's one of the things that Coach Smith does a good job of, is he comes back behind if, somebody misses an assignment and Coach Wilkinson's mean to him, Coach Smith can kind of come, put his arm around the kids and, kind of get them back to where they need to be. And so it's just, like I said, we worked together last year, and he was one of the guys, whenever I got over here, I told Coach Hill, hey, if we have the opportunity to bring him on board, one, he's a tremendous man, but also, he's a great coach on the field.
Well, talking about great coaches, wide receivers, you got some great coaches out there, and Madison Dilldine was able to catch up with a couple of those guys.
I'm now joined by wide receivers coach Prince McJunkins. Coach, how are you today?
I'm good. Yes, ma'am.
What brought you to Broken Arrow?
Honestly, it was the people. I had a short conversation with Jay, and then that also turned into a conversation with Coach Hill, and seeing their outlook on things, this is just something that I could not pass up.
Walk me through your coaching journey and kind of how you got into coaching.
Yeah, so spring of 2017, again, fresh out of college, I was able to get on staff over at Bartlesville High School, right? So I was there for 5 years, and then spring of 22, that's when I was able to hop on at Jinx, and then I was there for the last 3 years, and then I'm here now. So,
what would you say is the most rewarding part of coaching?
Just honestly, the relationships with any and everybody, honestly, whether it's parents, kids, coaches. I'm honestly just a people person. So.
From what you've seen so far, and as we kind of head into more regular season stuff, what excites you the most about your group right now?
Just honestly, their high level of competition. I mean, it's early right now, but in any and everything that we do, whether it's weights, on the field, they compete any and every time.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We're now joined by wide receivers coach Keaton Scott. Keaton, what brought you to Broken Arrow?
Honestly, just the opportunity to be a Tiger and work with Coach Hill again. We have a relationship all the way back to Muskogee, so just being able to hop on and see where this journey takes us.
How long have you been coaching, and where did you start your journey?
I've been coaching about 5 years. I started at Muskogee junior high, worked my way up, again to be on Coach Hill's staff, and then now here.
Have you always coached receivers, or have you kind of jumped around?
I was originally tight ends, a little bit on the defensive side early, and then wide receivers is kind of new to me.
So a lot of coaches pull different philosophies and coaching styles from previous coaches that they've had. So what do you think that your coaching philosophy kind of stems from?
It all kind of starts from relationships and getting to know your kids. And then from there you can kind of pick and pull and see what each kid needs and just kind of identify the things that they need in order to kind of get along on their journey.
How would you describe your coaching style?
I just like to have fun. If you're not having fun, it doesn't make sense. So, I mean, that would be it. Just fun, getting to know kids and seeing what we can get into.
Lastly, what do you try to instill into your guys both on and off the field?
I mean, I guess the easiest answer would be like mental toughness, understanding responsibility that translates not only on the football field, but being a young man as well. And that would probably be the big part of it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Madison. Back at the desk with Coach Wilkinson. You bring on two coaches with the wide receivers that are really talented, really knowledgeable guys. Prince McJudkins and Keaton Scott. Talk to me about those two guys and what they bring to the table.
Just excited to have both of them on board. Obviously, Coach Mack and myself worked together last year at Jinx, so he kind of knows the offense inside and out, how we install it, all of that stuff, and so that's big, kind of getting this thing rolling into year one. And then Coach Scott coming over from Muskogee. I know Coach Hill was adamant that he comes on board. Great with computer, great with kids. He'll kind of focus some on our inside receivers, and Coach Mack probably more with our outside receivers. But really excited to have both those guys in the fold. I know they're going to work well with the kids, and excited again. 2 more young guys. I'm kind of the old guy on staff. Is the theme around here. It seems like, as Coach Hill pointed out in the staff meeting. But just it kind of keeps me young, trying to keep up with these guys. But really excited. And then we have a volunteer, Danny Armstead, who older brothers played here. Back in the day, so he's going to be on board kind of his first coaching stint. And so it's going to be exciting to see all 3 of those guys work with our wide receivers. And it's a strong group, wide receivers, some new faces, some returning faces. And, the one thing about it is the way the summer's designed around here with so much 7-on-7, you need as many of those guys as you can just to make it through the summer. And so, you could see anywhere from, 6 to 10 of those guys potentially trying to earn jobs on Friday night. And, a lot of those guys are two-way players. They're getting some time in the secondary. So, we're trying to train all those guys up, just not knowing where these competitions are going to fall, in the end of May and June. And so just trying to kind of get the right combinations in the right spots. And so it's kind of a little bit of a juggling piece right now, but really excited about that group. A lot of talent in that group. It's just going to be interesting to see how the pieces fall.
Yeah. Talk to me about some of those guys that are in there and what they bring to the table, what they can do for your offense, and how they can really spread out a defense and open them up.
Yeah, well, we talked about, Peyton earlier, a little guy that right now probably in the slot, but, extremely athletic. I mean, just can get in and out of routes. You've got 2 returning guys, Wade Jones and Matthews on the outside, that both are kind of been in track. So we've seen them part of the time over here, but obviously a little bit bigger guys, a little bit longer stride guys on the outside. And then you have some new additions that, we'll kind of wait and see kind of what happens with them. BB Brown coming over from Owasso, playing corner, is also going to get some time at receiver. You have Samaj Jones that's coming in. And then we have some young guys that I'm just telling you, are really hungry, that just got over here from track yesterday. And so still getting to kind of figure out which of those guys are inside receivers, outside receivers. And so, I think the thing that we've tried to preach to all those guys is just be open-minded. You might be outside receiver this week, but if we feel like your best chance to help the football team is to move to inside, we need you to be open-minded and trust us and go to inside receiver. And again, just kind of working those combinations to put our best guys on the field.
Yeah, really exciting offensive group that you've got all around. Hoping to repeat some of that same success that you had before here at Broken Arrow, and it was like 44 points a game or something like that. So that's a high bar.
I just know that in 2018 it was one more every week than the other team.
That's all that matters,
That's right? That's right.
Well, we'll hope we follow that same plan here this upcoming season. Thank you for joining me here in the studio. Inside Tiger Football brought to you by Rib Crib. Episode 3 coming out soon with Coach Travis Hill.